Jeremy Corbyn chose to walk out of the Prime Minister's critical Brexit meeting with opposition leaders after Chuka Umunna of the Independent Group attended the discussion. Speaking after the meeting, Liberal Democrat leader claimed the Labour Party leader had walked out of the discussion, branding Mr Corbyn's actions as a rather strange way to behave. Asked if there had been a change in approach from the Prime Minister, Sir Vince replied, "No. We were just going around in circles. Very curiously and friendly, but no change. Unfortunately, it wasn't even the opposition leaders, because Mr Corbyn chose to walk out because the Independent Group whether it was a rather strange way to behave with a moment of national crisis, but those of US who stayed behind, it was a amicable discussion, but I'm afraid her position was exactly the same as it was stated in Parliament this morning, with no indication of listening or responding in any flexible way." ITV's political correspondent Paul Brand tweeted, "New understand Jeremy Corbyn refused to join meeting with opposition leaders because Chuka Umunna was there. He's not a proper party leader. Corbyn walked out." Brexit news. Sir Vince Cable claimed Jeremy Corbyn stormed out of the Brexit meeting with the PM. Image Sky News Getty. It wasn't even the opposition leaders, because Mr Corbyn chose to walk out. Sir Vince Cable. Both Mr Umunna and former Conservative Party MP Anna Soubry attended the meeting with the Prime Minister with opposition leaders to discuss Brexit. Speaking on Sky News, former Labour Party MP Mr Umunna was asked about Mr Corbyn's decision to not attend the meeting. He said, "I think we are in a crisis situation here where the people of this country expect representatives from different political groups in Parliament to come together and try to chart a way forward. That is why the Prime Minister convened the meeting. I welcome the fact that she did so. I think it is really extraordinary behavior for the leader of the opposition to behave in this kind of very juvenile way when the moment demands we all step up and engage in some serious dialogue to find a way through this chaos and mess. But we'll have to explain his actions." Following the meeting, a former Conservative Party MP Ms Soubry claimed Mrs May does not have a plan B. She said, "What I get from it all is that she is absolutely prepared for us to leave the European Union without a deal." Mrs May met with opposition leaders before the Prime Minister is scheduled to address the country on Wednesday evening. On Wednesday, Mrs May told MPs she intends to table her withdrawal agreement for a third time in the Commons, in the hope of overturning massive defeats inflicted on it in January and March. In a letter to European Council President Donald Tusk, Mrs May said it remains the government's policy to take the UK out of the EU in an orderly manner on the basis of the withdrawal agreement and political declaration agreed in November and supplemented by documents agreed with Mr Juncker last week. Speaking in the Commons, she said, "The government intends to bring forward proposals for a third meaningful vote. If that vote is passed, the extension will give the House time to consider the withdrawal agreement bill. If not, the House will have to decide how to proceed. But as Prime Minister, I am not prepared to delay Brexit any further than June 30th." Responding to Mrs May, Mr Tusk said, "In the light of the consultations that I have conducted over the past days, I believe that a short extension would be possible, but it would be conditional on a positive vote on the withdrawal agreement in the House of Commons. The question remains open as to the duration of such an extension." Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn accused Mrs May of running down the clock on Brexit. He told the Commons, "This government has led the country and themselves into crisis, chaos,